So I've just finished facilitating a stress management workshop for a client, and I'm sitting in my car and I thought, hey, this is probably the best time to talk about stress. The reason being, in the workshop today, it came up that stress doesn't just happen in the workplace. In fact, one of the things that makes stress so difficult is that we have to think about all the things that might happen at work when confidence is low, for example, or all the things that you don't want to do, or those difficult working relationships that make being at work really hard, or the project that you're not sure you have the skills to do, the whole idea of imposter syndrome, not feeling like you're good enough at work. There's a whole range of factors and triggers that come into play with stress at work, but often it's just the thinking about it, the rumination and worry over what might happen. And the thing is, a lot of this happens before we get to work or outside of work, such as, on the commute, sitting in the car, thinking about what might happen at work. So it's important to understand that often the stress, while there are specific triggers at work, often the stress just happens in your mind. So that's the first thing we need to think about, is that the anticipatory anxiety that comes with workplace stress. Now, I wanted to talk about this anticipatory anxiety or stress because it was something that plagued me for a long time in my career. I worked in financial services for many years, both in Melbourne and in London. And I remember many times where I was stuck in my head, waking up at night, worrying about all the things that might happen at work because my confidence was low. Now, I experienced burnout as well, which is really tough. And if you've experienced stress and you're watching this, you'll know it's something that causes a lot of suffering and you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. That's how tough it can be at times. But I was fortunate in that I was still able to maintain my role and figure out a way through the stress. I got some good help, but whilst a lot of it was well-intentioned, it didn't get to the crux of what caused it. It didn't get to the crux of how to actually make different choices when you're in the moment of stress. So that's why I do the work I do now, because of my personal experience, both of stress, but also being able to deal with the everyday demands of corporate life. So, if any of this is resonating with you and you can relate to that experience of anticipatory anxiety and being in your own head a lot around stress, the first thing I recommend you do is take the test that I've put on my website, which I've devised just through the work I've done with clients. It's a really quick 10-question questionnaire, and the answers you provide will give you an indication of how your stress levels might be at this point in time. Then I'll also give you some hints and tips as to how to start addressing it, because we need to understand where our stress levels are at the moment so we can have some baseline from which to then move forward and hopefully start to reduce and manage your stress. If you've not been on the website before, please take a look around. There's information on the workshops I run, also on the coaching I offer. But of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me direct, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for watching.